Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer community. We are coming at you today with an exciting bonus content from our Dab Dab Revolution event of Winter 2022. My name is Autumn Out of Habit. I will be joined in the booth eventually by, I believe Shimbabi will be hopping in here later, but for now, y'all are stuck with me here. The name of the game here today, we have a blackout bingo race between LuffyDV and Chanigan, two great runners here. And looking at the bingo board, we've got an awful one, and also our runners are already off. Forced to take a none, and it looks like both of our runners choosing the same party, taking a thief, a white mage, and a black mage. Life 2 and Cure 3 at level 1, as well as Bane, which they will need for Tia, as well as Brack, all rolling in the level 1. And looking over at the blurses that we have on our party today, the black belt is going to have plus 40 hit points, 20 strength, and minus 10 MDef, which will hurt a little bit in the late game. Might see a little bit higher of a grind than we normally do. White Mage can wield the X-Cal and has a bonus to hit percent, but loses some per level. Black Mage with plus 40 agility, plus 10 strength, but cannot wear a ribbon. And both of our runners off to different directions with their airship, finding some unrunnable manticores up in the Cardia Islands. Chanigan going over to see what Sarda has for us today, and that is a dead black belt for LuffyDV.
I think that's a good time for me to join. Thank you, Autumn, for that stellar intro. I love the play-by-play already.
Yeah,
hi everyone.
It's
Shimbabi
making
here, by the
easy.
way. Wow, Katana already in Dwarf Cave. That's pretty nutty.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued already, because I know Chanigan and Luffy pretty well. We've been doing a lot of practice on Dab together, and Luffy doesn't often go to Cardia first. It was a little bit of an interesting twist there to see that. He usually goes Dwarf Cave into the Sages just to get some key items for his early levels, but I guess they must have seen some stuff that they wanted to purchase earlier?
Yeah, very possible. I'm also wondering if the lack of AoE at first level had anything to do with what we're looking at. I'm also seeing that we got the crown from Sarda, and then looking over at our notes, I'm not entirely sure what else I am seeing here. But let's see what we have in Elfland.
This is an interesting...
Oh, we have Entrance Rando on.
I didn't realize that they were doing that. I was wondering why he was at Elfland already, because I was curious without that kind of gold, and certainly without the levels, like what the point of that would be. But I see we have Dab with a twist now.
That we do. And also finding some good money up in Cardia, getting 17k out of one of the chests. That, along with that katana that we've already seen that no one can use, is going to be nice. We also got a cloth plus 4. Doesn't look like we have that square on our board today. Although in terms of squares that I'm certainly looking forward to, and I'm sure chat wants as well, we have Putt Putt Boat Race over in row 2, column 5.
And one of the specialties about Dab was that boat can be like literally anywhere, because we're used to seeing it within the inner sea kind of as a guarantee, but I know I've personally gotten it from the waterfall a couple of times, either in a chest or talking to the robot, so that's like not the best feeling when you have to go up to the Onrak continent and then come back down to have to hold B, and then you forget that the canal's not just freebie, so you have to dig that out too.
Yep. And to answer Math Girl in chat, that is the xylophone, which is the lute with our multi-instrumentalist Sarah flags. And sorry to cut you off there, Shim.
Nope, that's all good. I was distracted anyway, so I didn't realize that you were talking. I apologize.
All good. And it looks like we found a black shirt somewhere being thrown against Garland, and there is a dead Garland for Chanigan. So we're going to get to see a couple more key items here. Getting a chime from the king, that will be necessary, although we need almost everything, and the rod, which we have to go visit every room on Lich 1's floor. Not sure if we will actually see that Lich 1 take a death, though. And we have the tail at the Oasis. Probably not going to see any of our runners do that. We need to visit Bahamut? No. Oh, actually, no, we will, because we have to fill all 24 spell slots on a character, and that requires promotion.
That will. I think they're gonna. I mean, I would hope that they're going to either promote very late after they find that black belt grind, or if they can find an early ribbon. It's not out of the question to just say throw the ribbon on the black belt and do an early promote, so that way we can get access to those spells a little bit earlier. Because casting a spell of every element also is going to be kind of a nightmare if you have something rolling at like level 8, and especially if you just found Lefane, for example, at Crescent Lake, you might just want to fill up that level 8 slot right away.
Looks like Asso's holding on to the Adamant today. And I had a thought, and that thought just went right away.
Thoughts tend to do that sometimes.
Yeah, especially with Final Fantasy Randomizer. It has a good way of removing those, and we are also removing some dwarves. Adamant turns into the cube, so just under 6 minutes in, we can already get to Sky. We do need to open all of the chests there.
So I'm not convinced that they're going to make that play this early with a black belt party.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah, if this were a fighter comp for some reason, and I wouldn't do it in these flags necessarily, but if this was a fighter comp, I could see them doing that for a walking grind at the same time as maybe gearing up the fighter. But with a black belt party, that's definitely like, I'm going to hold off, maybe even look for Tiamat in Lucardia Islands. So,
yeah,
I know that
Lit 2 isn't doing much for you.
Yeah, they're a fan of taking that Hall of Dragons, although I didn't catch, and I really should be looking out for when they do a hard reset, how long it's going to be until an encounter, because one of the highlight features of Dab was how quickly can we get a black belt to level 42, really, and the blue dinosaur is the way to go. So they're going to be checking out those corners on the desert.
Absolutely. Also, we are seeing Lit 3 and Temper at level 3 in Elfland. Also, we have Warp and it was Ice 3 at level 5 in Melmond, which is in the Elfland entrance. So finding some good magic to gear up on here. And looks like our runners largely retracing each other's footsteps. We've got Wall at level 4 for the White Mage.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm convinced Luffy only bought Wall there because he knows that I have an issue when he doesn't. But it is definitely a good save when you have characters that can't equip a ribbon. Getting that White Mage out with an early cast is great. You do have to balance that, though, against how else am I buffing my party? Like, where are we getting evasion stacking? Where are we getting a cure if I see that nuke rolled out on first turn? So it's going to be... It's very interesting, because Wall is really a lifesaver, but it's also really it's a desperation move sometimes.
Yeah, and with our Blurs here, too, with the Black Belt having minus 10 MDef, that Wall could also be a big difference as far as what level we need to take the Black Belt to.
With the forced 3-man party, I think that we're looking at a level 50 is not unheard of. In a blackout sense, like, they're going to probably just incidentally be able to take a few of those encounters in Sky, for example, when they're hunting for the poison elementals, when they're on their grind tile. I think... I don't know that either one of them is going to show us a 50 immediately, but if they can find like a blue dinosaur off the hard reset or an eye tile almost immediately, I think we can definitely see a 42, and that will slowly build up and get close to offsetting that minus 10 MDef.
Yeah, unless something changed for this race, I know the regular Dab flags did have vanilla traps. Looks like we've got Harm 4 ruling at level 6. I call that out because the White Mage can cast it, as well as Nuke and Fast at level 6. So, good magic at a level you don't want to see it up at.
Yeah, these runners are very comfortable with if both mages were to die right now, I think that they would still be happy to finish the seed with just a solo black belt. It goes both ways. I think that they're going to want to get some charges for fast on that black mage as a big just in case, but I don't see it getting higher than maybe 2 or 3 charges at level 6.
Yeah, that is reasonable. Also, we were able to dig the TNT out of the sages. Looks like our runners were also able to pick up life at level 3, and let's see what's in Marsh. We do seem to have vanilla traps still, which means we will get to see plenty of eyes, and there's the canal in Marsh Cave, so Marsh is required today. And now we have to take the Walk of Shame out of Marsh.
I'm real curious about those checks, if they were just, you know what, it's a couple of steps, let me make them for something cheeky. Chanigan is not one to waste time on treasure chests in general. Is there something that we're looking for that I missed on one of these tiles? I don't think so. I guess maybe a cheeky wizard staff would be nice for confusing carry.
Yeah, either that, maybe a Bane Sword, or I didn't see that he has a lot of magic built up on his casters, so may even be looking just for an AoE to throw on. Or possibly even something just to sell. We've got a slab coming from the TNT turn-in.
I'm not gonna lie, I am so thrown off by only shuffling town entrances. That is it's a bizarre twist to this that's really going to make, well, it's going to make that slab not so bad, as long as I didn't see which town Lefane actually was, but I'm going to imagine it wasn't
came
Melman.
From Crescent.
I know Lefane is, I know Crescent is Lefane, but I thought one of our runners just went to Lefane proper.
Lefane proper went to Gaia. Shout out
so
to Hate the 13th for taking some notes for us as far as where all of these things go.
Yeah, so they'll be hunting down Melmond pretty quickly for that slab turn-in, because that's a freebie from Lefane, where it otherwise is kind of a pain to go out of your way for.
Also, did you happen to see where Chanigan found that fire elemental skill? Because I looked away.
He did find it on the shadows. Shadows love to ambush, and these shadows cast fire too.
Probably the first time that you're actually happy to see ambushing shadows with fire too.
No, never actually happy. Lit 2 on Zombie D's. That's a feels bad moment. Ice on an undead pack also feels bad. Like, I know what he's trying for. Was that...
And Death Touch.
Okay.
I believe we also saw that on Estos, but Death Touch on the Zombie D is not something you want to see in the Hall of Dragons.
It is the first encounter off the reset, so they'll probably just push through that. I don't know. I wouldn't belabor the point there. They're probably going to unrack just to check the town, but yeah.
And we've got the Ruby from the Slab turn-in. Or Luffy finding a healthier option for the Titan, bringing some yogurt thanks to our fun flags. And Chanigan finally giving us a look at our pirates.
You know, I'm not convinced that it's healthier. It's got to be, what, like thousands-year-old yogurt. Probably not going to sit well.
That is a really good point. It doesn't scare me as much as Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just was looking at the tracker for what just popped up. I think that was crystal off of Bicky.
Yeah, that was the crystal off of Bicky.
And go on, you were going to say.
I was saying, at least the 2,000-year-old yogurt, not quite as disturbing as the pudding I rolled several times.
Yeah, I try to avoid that. Ooh, Masa -4. Feels bad until you realize it's still a Masa. And a Bane Sword, look at that.
The Bane Sword is definitely nice to have, since we need to introduce that to Tia and can't find in the Hall of Dragons. Also, level 2 magic is coming in clutch. We've got that Confuse that we need for carry at level 2, as well as Exit and Cure 3.
part of me is going, well, with exit, maybe we do take that eye for a little bit to get the mages up. And then part of me is going, there's no way Chanigan wants to actually go into Ice Cave twice. So, waterfall here, obviously, good play. You'll be able to get out after the trap tile. I'm not opposed to taking the mummies for 1 or 2 fights anyways, just because that trap is like a really good way to get up to, I don't know, just below level 10.
That is a really nice one to take, as long as they don't have anything gross. We definitely saw throughout the dab some really gross mummies. Couple trance parties.
Yeah, my favorite are the toxic mummies. But hopefully we'll see something like thunder mummies. That would be nice. Chanigan's about to show us.
I almost thought toxic would be useful, and then remembered no, toxic is not poison elemental, because why would anything in this game make sense?
Yeah, I forgot that we are attempting to track those, as well as... Frost is not quite one of those.
And Stun Touch.
Yeah, the problem is, right? So, Frost, Stun Touch, you start mixing all of these things, and you're looking at these mummies, and I know I'm starting to go off on a separate train of thought, but between the Sea Status Elementals skill spells, the Poison Elemental skill spells, like, you're gonna see these really nasty spells early and not want to sit on the mummies, whereas a mummy could very well have poison and poison in its script right now. And so when you get a ribbon, or really if we can get a couple levels on this white mage and just cast wall and sort of sit on the mummies a little bit, I think that would be a really obvious place to grab one of the scripts.
Yeah, it looks like Luffy is going to follow into the waterfall. The, in fact, horizontally flipped waterfall. Just for optimal being, as Luffy's showing us, a nightmare. Oh, Squint coming out on the mummies.
Yeah. That party is absolutely worth sitting on, in my opinion, once you get a ribbon.
And Squint not counting toward either of our tiles. One of these days, I will actually know what elements all of these things go to. Today is not that day.
I feel like Squint is
there. That sounds right.
I'm pretty sure.
And we got the Oxy Ale out of the robot.
And they're going to want to defeat Kraken 1, so it's on the table. They have the Bane Sword, they have Bane, they have Brack, I think. It's not like the ideal play right now, but it might just be a let's get this out of the way if I happen to go towards Onrak.
Yeah, I don't hate the play, especially with access at least to Life 3, or Lit 3 rather. Not the ideal thing to go through there, but you could do much worse. Squint comes out, Black Belt goes down. Fortunately, we have the best healing spell in the game on the White Mage, Life 2.
I wouldn't mind if Life 2 acted like Life does in Mystic Quest and we can get some massive heals off of it off a living party member.
That would be nice. I haven't played Mystic Quest in a long time, as much as I know a lot of our community has been having fun with that randomizer as well.
Yeah, shout out to one of our FFR devs on that one, who's actively working on the Mystic Quest one also. Eldham.
And that crystal turns into a ribbon -5 out of Matoya, and Chanigan not even checking the boxes in her room.
Yeah, nobody's equipping a ribbon for stats. You want that juicy, I can stand on a stone poison and not have to worry.
Absolutely, but it's always nice when you get the random time where it rolls up and you at least get a tiny bit of absorb out of it. But with that ribbon, Chanigan's going to show us Ice Cave, and who knows what we're going to find here. We're going to have to see every trap tile in the cave, as well as open all the boxes. So I like the play of doing this early, see if you can get through it. The Frost Wolves have Mute Touch, which is never fun. Unrunnable Frosties, even better.
So it looks like Luffy is playing a little bit of catch up on Chanigan. Probably going to be making a very similar play here, although he will be checking the Matoya chests because why not? So heal, a Dragon Sword, Iron Staff doesn't really pay off here, but it also only takes about 5 seconds to do. But yeah, I can't imagine him not going to Ice Cave here. Because
the thing that'll help Luffy here in trying to get that catch up on Chanigan is Luffy has a much better set of magic. Chanigan only has first and second level spells.
Chanigan doesn't want to keep his majors alive right now. If he's in Ice Cave, he is broadcasting to us that he is taking that black belt up. Whether that's a 32 or a 42 remains to be seen, but he is not going to be intentionally coming back into Ice Cave.
I guess I'm just used to seeing too many horrible ice caves that make it hard to get to the eye. So we will see what that turns into.
Yeah, so Luffy deciding the same thing. This seems like the obvious play, right? Because you have very limited choices as far as incentive dungeons are concerned. You're probably not looking to go to ordeals at a low level without warp just for the sake of the run. Luffy realizing he doesn't have warp, so he's going back to that mage tile. We have random chest at location here. And then it's going to feed itself into the eye tile. And we're going to see very risky grinds here, right? When there's off-tile encounters, if they don't really have a good way to clear out the tile below the drop down, we're gonna have a rough time here. So let's see what happens. While we know what they're doing, I'm gonna take a moment just to kind of go over the board for myself, because I didn't quite catch everything from before. Right, we're looking for skills, we're looking for lizards. That's probably going to be just either Agamas or the iguanas on a trap tile. You got the zombies, which we can do right now here. So that's another reason why they might keep... Oh, we do have a light axe on Luffy's side. So he is definitely doing 2-2 right now. And then also not concerned about dropping down. And yeah, the rest of this, the only other one that I can think that might cause a little bit of heartache, besides the usual sea poison elementals, is the 4 different slimes, with 15 total slimes. I think I saw them take an encounter in Marsh Cave, but I didn't see how deep that was.
Yeah, I didn't catch how deep that was as well, although with the amount of time that they have to spend in Sky, depending on where the metal slimes are in the encounter table, that could also be something that comes out.
You know, everybody thinks that, and we did too while playing this, and Pickles, I just see, joined us in chat. Welcome, by the way. Don't worry about being late to the party. There is still a lot of party to be had. But perhaps you can chime in also. I have had, personally, almost zero luck with finding the metal slimes in Sky, even with the open every chest kind of forcing you to be there. There's really some very non-trivial tiles, right? Because you're going to see some slime somewhere. The odds of you not is just astronomically low. The problem is, can you make it meaningful in the way that you encounter them?
Yeah, I'd imagine our runners are hoping that they can just find all 4 types as they're going through here. We know at least that Marsh is required. Have to go through Earth Cave, so that is an option. Have to go through Sky. Might be able to find those, or see if they are somewhere good off of the hard reset. But that will remain to be seen. Zap putting in some work for Luffy, though.
I think a lot of the newer runners sleep on Zap as a useful tool for getting rid of undead packs, and it is incredibly useful. It's so useful that it gets rid of Lich, even. So, yeah, let's keep casting that. Definitely get them out of the way. I mean, Luffy's just getting 2-2 out of the way, and then we're going to see him going back up to that eye. You brought up an interesting point before about hopefully they see 4 different versions of that monster. I'm not sure that they're even tracking that, to be honest. Going into this, I think that they have all kind of assigned to themselves. Like, yeah, it's always a possibility, but they've played so many of these where the trigger for that tile has always been, let me just kill this many of them because I can always find them, so I'm just going to do it. And just sort of stumbling into them is a nice to have, but they're going to have to recognize it in a moment.
Yeah, that is definitely a call out as well, especially the slimes seem to be the ones that are a little bit more distributed. I know that's something I've looked for when I played, but very easy to, especially when you have so many things on your board.
I would guess that both of these runners, yeah, they have this bingo board up to click on, but there is a notepad file that says this is exactly where I want to be, and this is what I'm getting at these locations. It is very, very hard, even with a tracker of some variety, to sort of keep these all in your mind. And a blackout bingo, I think it's actually probably a little easier in a blackout bingo because you're trying to be aware of everything all at once. Whereas when you're going just for a double bingo, and then you happen to catch one of these off tiles that you didn't realize you really were looking for at any point, that gets you a little unnerved.
Oh, Chanigan's in trouble here as well. Nothing here on the White Mage to do any AoE, and Chanigan taking a wipe in Ice Cave, going to come back later.
So where did Luffy find that light axe? That is absolutely going to be instrumental in Luffy getting out of Ice Cave.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't see where he picked that up. He also has a couple more AoEs on that Black Mage, at least for the way down. Which, with those unrunnable mummies and unrunnable frosties in here, could be a huge help.
So Chanigan showing us that we had 2 very early encounters, 3 very early encounters? Wow. So we have Steak and Wings as the 3rd encounter. It's
not ideal, but
no,
it's
that
there.
is the way to say it.
It's not ideal, but it's better than wiping out of Ice Cave.
Yeah, this looks like a play for, like, let me get enough levels so that I don't wipe on my way down in Ice Cave, because that's where I still have to go. Ooh. Alternatively, don't step on that tile. Don't take those dinosaurs. Maybe just a Tyro you could probably get down before it cracks. A Sandworm wouldn't have been the worst idea. Yeah, so he just hard reset. He's going to double soft, and then we're back to a Sandworm.
Yeah, not bad to take the Sandworms as a quick 3rd encounter off the heart. Could do much worse than that.
Good. They rolled up. This is not fun. And it looks like he never got the ruby. So that is a huge benefit also for Luffy to have that Masamune just sort of indicating, you know what, it doesn't matter what you throw at me, I've still got a black belt holding an endgame sword here.
Yeah, that's definitely helpful for getting the eye grind going as well once those mages are down. Being able to take out the eye reliably before getting up to the mid-20s.
I'm not gonna lie, almost 3,000 on the Sandworms was unexpected to me at this point.
Yeah, we do have a solid assortment of key items that have gone around, though. Looks like Chanigan hopping into Elfland to pick up some level 3 magic, getting some AoEs to help out, as well as Temper, of course. And Hate the 13th in chat correctly pointing out Masa -4, Stella Masa.
So I'm curious how much of the purchasing as far as AoE is concerned is Chanigan getting them for the sake of an AoE versus how much of them are just, I need to fill up 24 slots and I've decided my Black Mage is the one to do it. Yeah, there's the Quake. I bet it's going to be a dark and a lit.
Yeah, I'd say a little of column A, a little of column B. You get some utility out of it, but you also need to fill up those slots anyway, so why not?
These Frosties, though, are not a fun encounter with them being unrunnable and highly, highly evasive. I'm curious if Luffy is just deciding, you know what, this is where I'm getting my 12 total dragons? Because that's kind of a bizarre place to do it, knowing that the Hall of Dragons is on. No, it's just they were unrunnable on the way.
Yeah, just unrunnable on the way. I can't see anyone, unless there are paper-thin dragons somewhere, not just picking those up on the way through the hall.
Well, I mean, we saw what Zombie D's had, so if any of the other dragons are half as bad, or if the hall is all filled with zombie dragons, maybe we hold off on that. That might be it. So that's one of those tiles where I think they're going to wind up bumping into 4 dragons, not even realize it, because they're like, I'm going to take 12 of these anyway.
Very possible, and Luffy almost ready for the eye, getting a second ribbon and a power bonk and a Thor hammer, all at the end of Ice Cave.
Yeah.
Luffy definitely has a significant gear advantage over Chanigan at this point.
I would have to imagine, unless Ordeals is loaded, that he's going to maintain that. I mean, Chanigan's likely going to check the 3 chests before the drop down, but it might hurt him if he takes too many levels outside of this, gets warp, and then doesn't have to, because he will find that ship in vanilla location. And he's probably just going to pop back up for the eye tile.
Yeah, that seems like a likely play. The eyes also don't have a ton of HP this time, which is going to be helpful, and Luffy saying already time for those mages to go to sleep.
Yep. And my apologies, I missed that row 4 column 1 was a thing. So opening every chest in ice makes sure that Chanigan is going to get that ribbon and the power gauntlet. So we'll be a little bit more equalized, but still missing the Bane Sword and the Light Axe. I'm hoping Luffy gets the Light Axe on the black belt.
And we've got just the bottle coming out of Ordeals, so I guess we can see if that turns into anything. So have to walk all the way to Lefane to turn that in. As Lefane is leading to Argaia, and Luffy already up to level 20 on his party. And Pickles and Beer with a good call in chat. Chanigan also now knows that Luffy is very likely to be working on the eye grind, having marked the every trap tile in ice and open every chest in ice. And that doesn't feel good when you wipe out of Ice Cave and you see that your opponent, as far as you can tell, did not.
So I'm trying to think right now what Chanigan is hoping to see here. And I can't think of really anything. It's going to be an herb or a key, right? Because we've already seen the slab, we've seen the ruby, we've seen TNT. We haven't seen any turn in with the bottle yet.
I think the key is the only thing that we don't need in this seed, though. Because we've already found our Masa. We've already found the ribbon, and looking at... we have to go to Lich 1 floor, so we need the rod. We already have that. We have to do Sky. We have to do... we're getting the herb out of the fairy. We also have to go through sea.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. I like the additional adjustment they made to the flag set here, because this was a point of pain for a lot of the runners during Dab, is trying to turn something into the fairy. Because Mr. Fizzlebeef, our good Lord Fizzlebeef, decided that we should all take a long walk to get to the ferry. And they were like, nah, I'm not having it. You know what? I'll shuffle towns, but we're also going to make sure that we can take the shortcut. And I'm just going to throw it out there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was the first time in ages that I did not have the shortcut on, and not gonna lie, that one threw my movement for quite a bit of a loop.
It hurts because you want to be able to use that as a check, and especially since in most not AP flag sets, you're going to have the ferry as an incentive location. Gaia shortcut, no Gaia shortcut is a crime against sanity. You see, now I read your comment, Hate, as like a no, semicolon, Gaia shortcut is a crime, and I was like, it is not, it is 100% necessary, but I'm glad that we're on the same page. I know how to read, I promise.
Also, as I pointed out that the key is the one major item that we don't need, vanilla key.
Oh. I'm pretty sure
Topher was unlocked.
Was it unlocked? I don't...
It at least was during the dab, because I have that noted in my flag notes.
Let's see if that was one of those tweaks that they made.
Also seeing that we've got Fade rolled at level 5, along with a couple of harm spells and Lamp. And Chanigan picking up Warp, or not picking up Warp. Looks like he does not. He already has Warp. I never claim to know what I'm doing.
I think he's struggling to fill up those slots right now. Both players are going to need to buy 24 spells, which is one of the most deceptively difficult tiles on this board, because it's just so costly. Now, Luffy is going to be in prime position to do that, with the eye giving such a high yield of gold.
I think I saw he already has 340,000 gold.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting, what is this, 5,000, 6,000 per?
Yeah.
Not going to have to really worry, although you'll be surprised at how quickly that drains.
Now, with that minus 10 MDef, how high do you take this grind? Do you take it just to 42 and leave? Do you take it to 45 and hope you get those extra 5 levels? Or do you just take the extra couple minutes to get up to 50?
I personally, if I have a ribbon, I'm probably going 42. If I can, especially if I can find something else to go with it, some sort of like opal gauntlet, or not gauntlet, opal ring, or gold bracer even. However, in this case, if I'm Luffy and I see that Chanigan still has not opened every chest in ice and has not done the zombies, that means that I am doing my grind ahead of him. And so he may take this all the way to 50 just because he knows that he's got that time advantage. Yeah, 45 does cover the MDef penalty. Unfortunately, 45 is like base black belt level for getting around Bane. So you're still going to want to take it higher than that, just undoing the penalty, because a 42 black belt is the threshold for the hit count. It's not the threshold for this is safe without a ribbon.
Also, one thing I'm liking that Chanigan doing here, Chanigan is taking the grind before doing all of the trap tiles and before opening all of the boxes. And I have to imagine that's intentional, knowing that Luffy is ahead of him. I think he wants Luffy to continue to think that he has more of a lead than he does.
The problem he's going to face, and I don't know his inventory, if he doesn't have a light axe or a mage staff, he's not going to have a great time taking down those zombies with a black shirt, right? And so you kind of want to take that tile while you still have your mages up, and then you can warp back up and kill him off. And then maybe you're only taking it once. But he's not... It's an interesting play. I'm curious if he's looking to defeat 4 different types, if he's already seen one of those zombies in Toph, for example. Or both of them in Toph, and then the other 2 here. You might not want to be taking it as a kill 15 total.
Meanwhile, Luffy already up to level 40 on that black belt, so this grind almost over.
Now, as I just mentioned, like subjectively viewing the bingo board, if I see that Chanigan hasn't yet done Ice Cave, I'm thinking, you know what, maybe I'm safe to go up ahead. But objectively, looking at my timer and going, oh no, I'm at 39 minutes. This is too late for a black belt grind. Like, I'm probably behind in most seeds. Yeah, he's going to keep going. So at least we're offsetting the penalty, if not taking it all the way to 50. I appreciate this play.
Yeah, the only other way that I could think that you think you're behind at that point, because we have the 4 dragons tile on, and also we have the lizards tile, so we know that would tell him that Chanigan didn't do Agamas, Chanigan didn't do dragons, so the only real reasonable grind I can think of would be if there were good dinosaurs, better things than those sandwiches off of the hard reset.
Right, which I think Luffy checked at least 1 or 2 of the quadrants. I don't know if he checked all 4 of them. I don't know that he checked it as deeply as the third encounter in all of them. Interesting. Chanigan toggling the trap tile in Ice Cave prematurely. I think he realizes he either didn't do the Frost Wolves the time down, or he didn't do Frost Dragons. Did he miss either of those? Because he should be broadcasting immediately as soon as he recognizes that he's done it. But what that does tell Luffy is, oh, Chanigan was in Ice Cave and he is doing his eye grind, even though he toggled it off right away to indicate maybe we didn't get all the tiles. He thinks he did, which means that he stepped on the eye tile.
Yeah, definitely a good thought there. And hate saying that he believes that was the wolves if he recalls correctly. Also,
Right,
Luffy picking up some golds +2 over in Caneria.
I'm not sure that that really anything is necessary at this point on Luffy's side. You just walk in and start doing all of these tiles. We're going to be confusing and then defeating carry. Right, that's going to be straight down. He might just decide to take the Agamas on the way, because that is just back and forth tiles and you're guaranteeing the single lizard or double lizard encounter. That is fortuitous to have stepped off the lava and found these mucks.
Yeah, 7-pack of slimes, that is halfway to what we need. I'm not sure if he took a hard reset or a soft before going into Volcano.
We did see other encounters. So I'm going to say soft, because I believe there were 3 encounters in the first 8 steps off. Sorry, I meant hard. There were 3 encounters off the first 8 steps on a hard reset.
Right, so with the soft, if it were a hard reset, that would be... I would consider dipping into... try to get that pack one more time just to get that tile taken care of, but off a soft reset, don't make that same play.
Well, like I said, a soft reset, if you're going to guarantee that you have 3 encounters so close, then it might be worth just scoping out even a couple transition screens.
Yeah, Luffy, even with his black belt through the grind, still has that pro ring, ribbon, and the gold +2 on the black belt. So it looks like he is just wanting to be safe with that MDF penalty.
Yeah, definitely recognizing that this, despite being a punching powerhouse, is not the safest tank.
Yeah, and at this level, I like the play because that MDF much more important than a few more points of absorb, unless the Fiend refights have something to say about it. Got a Zeus -5 and getting an ambush on the Agamas. Well, Chanigan in some trouble against the unrunnable Frosties. They are evasive, and he is low on health, resorting to the black shirt. Down to 25 health. And that is another wipe out of Ice Cave for Chanigan. That hurts.
On the plus side, he's got a fledgling career as a time spinner runner.
So perhaps if he just gets his time spinner together, he can go back to before wiping out of there.
Now,
and
I
go take care of the
no
Agamas.
concept of this game. So, besides the fact that I just sit there and I see him fighting giant birds and climbing towers, I'm like, you do you, kid. I'm gonna kill this lich here.
I've played through the game vanilla and intend to eventually pick up the rando, but not a ton of context on it.
Yeah,
and Chanigan down at level 13 across the board.
Installed the rando today, and I don't know, I got about 5 steps in, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. It's too overwhelming. Give me this volcano where I can walk on some lava tiles and know I'm not going to get an encounter. Yeah, I should go through vanilla first, but it's just so slow. Metroidvanias just take forever to get started.
I mean, it's at least on the faster side of Metroidvanias, so you have
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
I think I took 11 hours on the first playthrough, getting a little off topic, but hey, we've got Agamas on screen. We don't have Agamas on screen.
At this point, off topic is the way to go with chat, because these runners, we know what their plan is, right? They've got 25 squares there. One of them has lit up, what do we have, 6 of them? Like, it's just a matter of time. So we might as well enjoy our time here watching them struggle and try to make these decisions. Like, how many times should I attempt to confuse Carrie?
Carrie's throwing out a hold too, so that's one of our status elementals. Also, Wall coming out to protect the Black Mage. Love the play there. Invis 2 comes out. Confuse not landing.
That Invis was the biggest brain play.
And Carrie has Fast.
See, I am of the opinion that Fast should count as a status element. I understand that it is not an offensive spell, but it definitely affects the status. But there's Sleep, so now we're up to 2.
We are up to 3 somehow, because Luffy just... I forgot there's a delay here.
And there we go. And now we know that we've seen it, but slow definitely does trigger that for us anyway. So Carrie with the script coming through. And this is also dangerous on Chanigan's part, because he's about to do this too. And if he gets that confused on Carrie on the first attempt, he might just try to kill it. I'm curious though if he's taking Agamas here as the intended grind instead of the eye tile, because he was too afraid of Ice Cave right now. Yeah, that is what's going on.
Now the question is, does he remember that he needs to confuse Carrie?
It doesn't matter to him. He remembers that he needs a black belt online, because if he doesn't have one, he's not even coming close to finishing this.
Yeah, the only reason I call that out, the play that I consider, it looks like Luffy coming back in to take those mucks, so knowing where they are, I like the play. If I'm Chanigan, I would have possibly gone 2-man grind to a level where you can take care of Carrie, confuse Carrie, then warp up, kill off the Black Mage, and do that. Pickles and Beer saying might go for Carrie 2 at this point, and I have to imagine that's it. Because the alternative is walking back out of the volcano, walking all the way back in. And that just, I can't see that being a play that a runner of Chanigan's caliber wants to make.
That real feels bad though, to try to confuse Carrie too. It doesn't. You could have 9 charges and be successful in it and still not feel good about confusing Carrie too. Yeah, having lost 2 grinds. I mean, if we're being honest here, Chanigan is thinking, man, I hate this game. I would have forfeited if I wasn't on Restream. And I'm sorry to call you out, buddy, on that one. But it should be Luffy's game to lose right now.
Yeah, although you never know what this game can manage to throw at our runners. The fact that this is Blackout is really playing to Luffy's advantage, though, because we know that both of our runners have to do just about everything in the game.
Yeah, the great equalizer here is going to be C2 poison spells. And I am really, really hoping that they remember mummies and whiz mummies have those dangerous scripts. Because I don't know if it's something that the devs actually intended or that is just part of the system, or if I'm just giving confirmation bias, but when enemies have like Squint, I usually see Squint coming with a rub or a poison skill. There's just a lot of like instant death that seems to roll together. And so poison skills coming off those mummies, I think, is going to be a thing. Yeah, Shadow, there is going to be a boat race. I mean, it's not going to be much of a race. I think Luffy's going to do it at some point, and then Chanigan's going to do it way later. but yes, there's going to be some slow boats here.
Luffy's going to go talk to Bahamut.
It's not wrong. It's not the greatest, but it's not wrong. I understand it because we need to start getting those spells on the other casters. I'd like him to see a couple more levels on the black belt still.
Yeah, although he may just be committed at this point to keeping that ribbon and keeping the gold on the black belt, and just saying those few levels of MDef aren't important.
That's true, because we don't have the black mage can't equip the ribbon, so we already have 2 ribbons. Black belt and white mage are already kind of equipped with it.
Now, Chanigan at level 27. If you're Chanigan, when are you cutting your grind off? Because I think losing 2 grinds, I don't think you want to take it up to 42 at this point.
There's a lot of schools of thought on this one. I don't know. I can validate anything that he does here, because 32 is going to say, you know what, I can start to get going. Maybe I just kill carry. If I've committed to doing carry 2, I'm going to just take the 32 and I'll catch my levels up a little bit later. Or maybe I'll go back into Ice Cave to get my ship. I don't know. He did get it, right? As long as he kept it, that's great. If he didn't keep it, then maybe I'm going back into Ice Cave to get my ship and take the I-tile up to 42. Alternatively, he could just say, I need to be 42. It doesn't matter what time it is, because 42 is really the cutoff for beating Dab consistently and effectively with a 3-person party. They do have fast. I mean, they've got a black wizard that's kind of forced. They found an early tail and they have to talk to Bahamut. So they're definitely getting fast. I think it was level 3, though.
Yeah, and Luffy finding a 4th type of dragon. Having seen ice, blue, zombie, and now gas.
Did he actually kill the zombie? I've been watching Chanigan's side, but the zombie Ds I remember earlier were a little bit of a heartache. Okay. Murdered the 4-pack. Just pretended they didn't even exist.
Yeah, and it looks like he lit up the tile, so either he did kill them or he got to 12 somewhere else.
It's a move. I feel like we could just click that tile at the beginning when they said take 1 none, and we'd be fine. Nobody would be any wiser. Pickle's pointing out, if Chanigan knew of the 2nd ribbon, he might stop at 32, which is true. Right now, he's probably saying, you know what, I've got to keep that ribbon on the white mage. That's going to be kind of how I get through Topher, if I'm getting through it all. I'm real curious to see if he's going through the back door or the front door on this one. Climbing out of the volcano the long way, or we're just punching carry 1 and calling it quits.
Yeah, that's tough to say. It's just, I don't have a good enough sense of how Chanigan plays to know how much of a gambler he is.
Chanigan is very, very of the mindset speed and power. And that doesn't help with, well, what do I have to do on these kind of off-topic meta things? So, if he has a wizard staff, he's probably just going to sit on carry, and if he doesn't have a wizard staff, then I gotta imagine he's just going to try carry 2. Because
Meanwhile,
he is
Luffy
so averse to the 2 minutes that it's going to take to come back.
Yeah, and Luffy was able to dig the canal out of Marsh, so starting to catch up on some of the things that Chanigan had already done. Getting some spells on the mages here.
I'm trying to figure out which element of spell we haven't seen yet. I feel like Quake hasn't come out. But I think they do have access to it.
I know I saw Quake. Quake was 4th level. And I wouldn't be terribly surprised if they just want to sit on one of those elements. Luffy opting to take that spell on the white mage.
If I'm Chanigan at this point, I'm looking at the bingo board, and I'm recognizing that Luffy is pretty much an equal competitor here. Like, we know each other intimately, and to see that many more tiles, he's not going to be baited into, oh, is Luffy and Topher now, or just about to be there? It's like, no, he's go moding. He is definitely on the warpath here.
Yeah, I think Chanigan's hope here at this point is going to be for the poison elemental skills to be somewhere difficult to find.
He is almost 100% banking on Topher having them. There's no way he's hunting them down on random enemies at this point. And so actually Luffy might be thinking the same. It is not a gamble that Luffy needs to take, because I'm going to keep coming back to these mummies. I'm going to ask them to just give me the seed later. Actually, I can just pull it up off race time. I want to check those mummies out, because I'm like really, really convinced that that's a good tile to check out. You've got the Tyro, or the Tyros down here that have a script we know about, and they're right off the hard reset, 3 encounters deep. Like, we got to explore some of these. It's going to be so much safer going into Topher knowing that you've seen at least one that counts towards that tile, because you've got Banes in the pool, you've got Poison in the pool, and if they rolled onto a War Mech, you're in trouble.
Yeah, Chanigan coming off of the Agama grind, finding another one on Carrie's floor, just for good measure.
Should be 5 HP restoring spells, I believe.
Yeah, we've seen Heal 3 and Cure at level 1. We have Cure 3 and Heal at level 2.
And we just picked up a Cure at level 7, I think.
Yeah, there's Heal 2 at level 6, there's Cure 4 at level 7.
Oh man, Luffy baited by his own beneficial flag here.
We've got Cure 2 at level 8, and Luffy is filling out the White Mage, but not picking that up. Still needs one more spell, and if I'm Luffy, I'm not picking that up right away. Unless he's thinking going to C next.
I think on a dab board, right, there's a lot of mind games that we can play with kind of indicating how close to Topher we are or aren't, and when you have this sort of the sort of perspective on the board where you're not looking at necessarily the same rows, columns, or diagonals that my opponent is, like maybe they're missing the fact that I'm 1 away from a bingo. In a blackout bingo, I'm not convinced that I'm trying to bait people here. This is like a get it done. We're 57 minutes in to what should be a 60-minute seed, right? And so they've got a handful of things that they should be able to do, but nothing that should take like more than 15-20 minutes at this point for Luffy.
I'll admit, it didn't even feel to me that we've been at this for 57 minutes.
Yeah, those grinds usually just sort of burn out some time, and then you get to have your idle chit-chat. It kind of passes the time a bit. So we're at on-rack now, picking up those extra spells. Doesn't matter, you got the money. But like, remember I pointed out that we had how much on Luffy's side, and then magically we're down to under 200k here. But
yeah, it looks like Luffy does have all of the HP restoring spells, and okay, there are those 2 tiles coming up. 24 spell slots and 5 HP restoring spells.
We have a flipped one. He's going to be heading towards Kraken the first time down, but he doesn't realize it, I think.
And I saw Chanigan coming out of the grind at level 43.
Yep. Sorry.
Or not out of the grind, but out of the eye, rather. I saw an eye and just immediately think, oh, that had to be a grind. As well as finding that secondary ribbon and picking up the power bonk.
What a garbage cheeky check that is. He knows he doesn't need anything in any treasure chest. he accidentally steps in there because he wants to talk to a mermaid, and he picks up a defense sword. That is Luffy for you.
That seems like it's always how FFR goes with it. If you accidentally do a greed check, that's always the time when you get something you really need. When if you're doing a greed check because you need something, never anything good. Also, one thing I noticed when Luffy was walking out of Gaia, did unequip all of the armor off of that black belt.
Interesting. So, saving the 9th mermaid for Bubbles. I think that was intentional. What level is Bane? I think we just saw it. It was very early.
Bane is at level... We have the notes here, thanks to Hate the 13th. Bane was level 1.
Yeah, Tia with Bane isn't going to be an issue, and we've got a Bane sword on Luffy's side also. They don't have it. Luffy has it, because that is in Titan, and Chanigan still hasn't turned in for the Ruby. So he doesn't have the Bane sword, and he's going to find out that there was a Masamune in there, which he's going to make a lot of sounds on the post-game interview, and then say, man, if I would have known that Masamune was there, would have definitely helped my grind. Oh, man.
I have to imagine also he's going to pick that and think, okay, that's why Luffy was able to get through that more quickly.
Yeah, sometimes it is luck, sometimes it is just being more prepared, and I think that the Masamune and doing some of those earlier checks definitely prepared Luffy more. I think the early Cardia checks helped out ultimately, but... Oh no, he wiped almost immediately, right? Did he have a chance to save any of that stuff out of Cardia, or did he go back to it later?
I don't think he saved any of it, with how early that was.
Yeah, being used to the AP flag set now, where we get a couple of tents just to make these kind of checks. I can see why he made that kind of a cheeky play and then realized, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have. Ooh, sea snakes with rub. That's good. Sit on them. They've got a script. Sit on them.
I believe I also saw them throw out mute. It was either the sea snakes or the lobsters that threw out mute here. And Chanigan has picked up the 3 status elemental as well. And I have not seen an enemy come out with anything poison elemental. We've got heat on the ghosts.
Yeah, Chanigan doing two major mistakes here, missing that defense sword and then not making one of those mermaids. Are we going to become Bubbles? Bubbles the mermaid belongs in carbonated form.
Bubbles did nothing wrong. And I will stand behind that.
Well, Bubbles will be stand behind Chanigan at the guillotine. Alright, Chanigan, you are redeemed. Carbonate Daryl. Psh. Psh. Take that nonsense out of here.
I don't actually know who Daryl is.
I'm gonna secretly pretend like I do. No, Daryl doesn't actually count as one of the mermaids. I think Daryl is the mermaid that sits off to the side. And is that in Corneria? Or is that the one in... Is there one that sits in Anrak Town also? But I think there's like a dancer in Corneria. Is that what you're referring to? Oh, that's the one in Anrak, okay. Yeah, there are 2 mermaid types that are not actually in Sea Shrine, but the tile, and this jokester knows because he's the one who actually put the tiles in. The tile only counts for mermaids that are in Sea Shrine.
Oh, those ghosts are unrunnable today, too. I'm just throwing out low-level fire spells.
I wonder if Daryl sounds like Ariel to the translators.
That's as good a guess as any.
Talk to the named guillotine NPCs. That would be the most garbage of tiles, so I can imagine it's coming up next year.
Chanigan having a bad time with these unrunnables going through Sea Shrine.
I really want to see them sit on something with a script. I just want to... Just give me one poison before we go into Topher.
How about a couple rubs?
Not going to quite cut it here.
We also had Dazzle, which not going to cut it, but also not what we want to see.
I mean, I always love to be dazzled.
And Sleep Touch Gersharks, because why not? And Luffy taking the grand tour of Lich's floor.
Did Luffy confuse Carrie? Guess not. That is...
He didn't mark the square. I guess he must have run out of confuses and just said, you know, I'm gonna go for Carrie too.
This is terrifying. We're gonna have to defeat Lich 2 thrice and then hope that Kelly doesn't knock us out here. And then also you're hunting for poison.
He defeated her, but that's why he reset out of Volcano. I didn't call it at the time because I thought maybe I just missed him exiting out.
Oh, I thought he stepped out also. I know he saw that Carrie was defeated.
I saw him reset from Carrie's floor without stepping onto the teleporter. That is a heads-up play by Luffy.
That should be 15 slimes. Yeah, no, I think Carrie's down, and he's saved with Carrie down.
I'm now inclined to think that you're right.
I'd love to give him that credit, but I don't see him dive in Volcano again, so I imagine we're on Kelly. Carrie 2. Sorry, you're a little bit more recent to the community. Kelly is the name we affectionately give Carrie 2 sometimes.
Ah, I was wondering about that. I saw that name got introduced on the Fun Flags in an upcoming version.
Oh, that's hilarious. There was another commentator that just couldn't remember Carrie's name. She was like, it's something with a K, Kelly. All right, we'll go with Kelly. It's a pleasant name for a Marilith.
I am always happy to catch up on all of the fun lore that we have built up in this community. But the Fun Flags with the fun enemy names, I've seen quite a few updates on the couple of Spring Tourney practice seeds that I've run, and they make me happy.
Yeah, I think Tetron put a lot of work into that. I don't know how many others contributed to the Fun Percent names, but he was, I know, really pushing for us to start using that flag. I probably should at some point. I just know that I'm very particular about my experience, and I very rarely used to use even sprite sheets. Now I'm kind of branching out into like the FF3 models. But that Kelly change makes me quite happy.
Yeah, I use the fun names because I started throwing those on before I really knew the game. That way I didn't have to relearn things once I started playing with the fun names because they just make the game a little more interesting. The only fun that I don't turn on is I leave multi-instrumental Sarah off because I have tried to get rid of the loot block so many times with the chime, it's not funny.
I haven't even considered that as an option, and it's just, to me, yeah, it's a little fun for like the haha moment when you get it, but the amount of menuing and brain power it requires, where at the end of an hour-long run, I don't know that I really want to be hunting for a xylophone or a flugelhorn or whatever it winds up being. Selective
yeah, I learned that one the hard way.
Yeah, if I could customize specifically the name of the instrument that I wanted at the time, I suppose I would use that. First item after the consumables. Yeah, that makes sense, except for the fact that sometimes I don't wind up having 6 consumables.
Also, Luffy lighting up the cast a spell of every element. I didn't catch what the last element that he cast was.
I didn't either, but I trust that he did it. Keeping track of that.
I imagine so. Probably Cake, but who knows for sure. Finding another pro ring in Sky.
It's real interesting to me. They're going to be leaving 4 tiles going into Topher. Right, we're getting the slow boat because you have to do that on the overworld. Although, devs, if you want to make things really interesting, allow us to slow boat around Topher. I'd be real keen on that. And what else do we have? Yeah, so he's going to be doing Tia and opening every chest right now. Going straight into Topher. There's no doubt in my mind that he's not checking these scripts. He's just going to try to dig out those poisons. I just don't know that that's the safest idea right now.
Also, finding a white shirt for that white wizard at the Sky incentive chest location. Not an incentive, just happenstance that it's there. And just the rich get richer.
I mean, we're gonna. Chanigan is going to find this, right? We're having to open every chest in the Sky. I don't know that. I guess you do have to. There's part of me that always questions: do I really want to equip the white shirt on the white mage? Because it's like, yeah, this is really nice armor, this is really nice resistance and stuff, but I kind of want to be able to cast Invis and then use Invis on somebody else. But realistically, if the black belt is really concerned about using invisibility, we've got the defense sword. So, or at least Luffy does. Again, Chanigan's a little on the not well-receiving side of that.
Yeah, although that one can't blame Chanigan for not greeting those chests. We know that it didn't work out.
Rich,
but also the gap between these runners not as far as it looks like they would. Also, so, Luffy doesn't have the fire elemental skill noted. I know he's seen it. He probably just forgot about the square.
I have to imagine that too. I'm pretty sure he saw like a blaze. He's seen cremates.
He saw something on the ghosts, which were unrunnable.
Heat, that was what it was on the ghost. Yeah, so I'm curious if he knows that he's seen it. Oh, there's our poison! Slimes with poison. Let them take another turn. They've got another poison skill. No! Soup, why you do this? Soup, no! They definitely have Brack somewhere in that list. Did Luffy ditch the Masa? Was that something that he had to do? No. Oh, Skyform Maze. Oh, that's gross.
I have never seen this before. I knew it existed, but I've never seen it.
So, I'm not sure if this is the variant that changes the location of the teleporter, or just... I think it just puts up walls. So you have to keep track of how many up, down, left, rights you've done. Wow, this is going to be a nightmare. So we have to go up, right. We did right again. If we could do another up, that'd be great. We can't, so we go right a third time. Up, left. Hey! There it is.
Yeah, Luffy with the Bane Sword doesn't have to worry at least about getting sent out of here packing without being able to Bane Tia.
I think the scary part is going to be he's going to defense up on the black belt. He's going to try to use the Bane Sword. If he accidentally fights... required Warmech. There's their levels. You know what? Give the Warmech a chance. Might have your poison skill.
Seven hits for 858. Ice 2 comes out.
So that's... Is that Lich? Who has Ice 2? Oh well. The world may never know.
Yeah, 1,057 damage, going to be enough to take out that required war mech.
Oh, Chanigan saw another poison skill. Where was the other one?
That's a great question.
That has to have Luffy scared. The only thing that would make me feel better as Luffy right now is if I see that every chest in Sky is opened before I have a chance to bane Tia.
Tia wasting a turn, throwing out some ink.
Where did that bane sword go? Oh, there it is, on the way.
Yeah, and even chat hasn't pointed out where that second poison skill came from. So I feel better for missing it.
It must have been
Blizzard
very
comes up.
early in the seed while we were bouncing around a bit.
Yeah, definitely easy to miss something like that.
Unfortunately, that's the one that like you absolutely don't want to miss. And I know that some runners have had some issues with identifying the fact that like glance counts as a poison elemental skill, or recognizing when one poison is used over the other instead
And
of
Tia
just
just
immediately.
saying no to all of these banes against Luffy.
There we go.
You
Commentator
are
blessing.
welcome for that commentator's blessing. And taking care of Tia on one of the banes from the Black Mage, and not from the Bane Sword.
Tia was just getting bored with the sword. Alright, so we got a slow boat coming.
That we do.
If he can find where he parked his ship. Did we leave it at
It's gotta be somewhere.
We did.
And it is right over where he needs it to be.
Curious if he's going to hard reset and burn encounters, because we know that there's going to be a few of them.
Either he got lucky with where the beginning of the table goes, or he did a soft reset here.
So, actually, the encounter rate on the ship is not the same as the overworld. So there are encounters that meet the threshold for a step to trigger an encounter on like grassland where it wouldn't necessarily on the boat.
Right, and that's where I'm thinking it's possible that two of those first three could be the ones that aren't there on the sea.
Right.
And we've got a war mech on Chanigan's screen, and can't imagine there's much to fear from that. 8 hits, 793, Fade comes out, and that is a paper war mech, 91 from the Fade. Not even 1,000 HP on that thing.
I really wanted to see if Warmech had that poison skill, because if it did, then Luffy is going to be hunting pretty hardcore. At which point we get Chanigan extremely vindicated in taking that black belt to 42.
And also
Wow,
getting
and
a
a
much quicker bane on Tia. And just like that, this is a closer race than it looked like.
Taking a couple extra steps to check the stats on the bats. But, oh, interesting.
Nuke and Cure 4 on Kraken. Nuke on Chaos.
Oh, gross.
Tia 2 has Crack, which... That's Earth, that's not poison. Why am I thinking that could possibly be poison?
Because it makes as much sense as any of the other designations do, and I don't fault you for that.
Yeah, that was at least
counts.
I caught it before I could say it. But
yeah, it should, I feel like, given the fact that you have Brack and Glance counting as poison.
yeah, I do like the play from Luffy, though. I think he was looking to see if any of the poison skills were called out there.
Pickle's pointing out all of the Fiend ones having the possibility for a poison spell.
Alright, and thank you for the correction, Hate the 13th. None of the poison skills are called out by the stat bats, so...
But the stat bats calling out spells does indicate that those aren't going to necessarily just be punchy. I'm pretty sure I used to see Zap and Bane being called out on the stat bats. Is that just like an extended version of the stat bat? I didn't even realize that these were on for Dab.
Yeah, hate pointing out that those stat bats call out Crack, Nuke, Nuclear, and Cure 4.
To look back at some of my my co-op stuff from the previous year, we definitely made heavy use of those stat bats because they made heavy use of us in the Fiendry fights. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen Zap in that pool. So, instant death spells are there, but not necessarily all of the poison skills, which I'm not opposed to putting on the stat bats. I think that probably would go a really long way at making this tile not seem as random as it feels sometimes.
Also, Chanigan took a quick dive into Marsh Cave to light up the 15 total slimes. And he's got to go take the tour of Lich 1's house. Getting thrown off a little bit there, it looks like, by the reversed floors. One of my least favorite flags that we have.
It is absolutely one of my favorite flags. You mix that with the floor entrance shuffle, and I'm biased. I know I'm biased because of the co-op tournament last year having that as like the main feature of the flag set. But floor entrance shuffle with flipped floors gives you a real appreciation for how well designed some of these maps are and how poorly designed some of the other ones are.
That's a fair point, and we have Lich 2 down twice. Always feels bad when you have to keep backing up the car to go back over the speed bump.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do that in my regular driving. You sound like that was an experience you might have in the real world.
That... I think I might have bugged my mom into doing that when I was a child. That would require me to remember much of that, because that's a long time ago. But aside from that, I know I've never done that. And Luffy going to need to pick up 3 chests here on Kelly's floor.
Yeah, there we go, getting into the spirit of things. Now, one of the most interesting features of this floor that get me every time is that those tiles on this inner section here are not free tiles, and almost every other inner wall is, but these are not the exact same tiles that would cause no encounter.
I've given up on making sense out of anything this game does at this point.
Just always walk on the bottom of a room, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that I know.
Wow! Carry getting confused on turn 1. That is insane luck. Except if Carrie's the one holding the poison skills. That also broadcasting, if the check 3 Carry 2 floor chests didn't broadcast it, then bam, right in the middle you got successfully confused Carry. Chanigan knows where Luffy is. But Chanigan also knows that row 2, column 3 is not lit.
I also comes out, and there is a dead white mage.
That's unfortunate. I believe that a confused Carry should count as seeing a fire elemental skill or spell, because that is effectively what's happening as Carry is casting fire on herself.
Yeah, although that is a moot point, because I know for sure that Luffy did see one of the fire skills on the ghost, if nothing else. And Luffy continuing the dive into Topher. Zap comes out and there's a dead black mage. Ice 2 comes out. Nothing of terrible import here, and Nuclear coming out. Not a ton of damage. Bonking up. Bonk number 3. Ink comes out. Wastes a turn. Nuclear comes out a second time. And going through all of this, not yet seeing a poison elemental skill off of Kraken. Fire 3 comes up.
Well, we know that Kraken has skills, right? Like, we saw the nuke, so he knows that he's sitting on Kraken for something, but it does not look like we're getting our poison stuff. That square... So I'm not a big fan of the poison square in general, but I also know that it's not as unfair as it felt. I mean, you can talk to Pickles about this one. Recognizing that enemies have scripts is a very important play. It's just unfortunate when you pick the wrong one to hunt down. I think that maybe if poison was guaranteed as like the 4th skill on any script, that would be something a little bit nicer, but really not nicer. That's the wrong word to use there.
And we've got a punchy Tia 2 here. 4 turns, 4 punches. 5 turns, 5 punches. And Thunder comes out, doing some pretty decent damage, actually.
Thunder is promising there. I would just drink some heal pots at this point. You're going to have to drink them anyway. You might as well get the added bonus of the cure in battle being higher than a heal pot.
Tornado comes out. Crack comes out.
There's a chance we see the Spain. Don't let us down, Tia. Or I guess if you're Chanigan, let us down, Tia.
Meanwhile, we've got some putt-putt boat action going on Chanigan's screen. And that's a dead Tia 2, and Luffy still needs a poison elemental skill. Now, one thing I'm not clear on, can you try to get the skills from Chaos?
Yes, the only requirement is that bingo board must be lit up before Chaos is terminated or runs. Yikes.
Oh, and it's not Chaos.
This is a problem. It also explains why they were so keen to take on Carry with the Confuse. You gotta punch down Tia. Ooh,
Slow
that's
2
slow too. If that lands.
Ice 3 comes out.
I'd
Luffy's
still like
sticking
to see
to
some
box
drinking
strats.
here.
No potion drinking.
How much power are you gonna punch this thing with? If they crit, he's down.
Also, as for how much power, I believe the answer is yes.
I appreciate that answer. Thank you. Thank you. Jeez. Oof.
And
See?
it comes out down to 90 hit points.
Get that heal out.
Tornado comes out down to 24.
I think he could punch Tiamat without having to worry right now. Tia's the one that's going to be doing a lot of stuff.
Rub comes out. Drink strats still on full display here, and there's a crit. Honestly, might be a mercy on Luffy with still needing to find that poison skill.
Gonna uncheck those boxes. There we go. Chanigan getting the memo. Thank you. Yes, you sit on these. They have a something.
Yeah, you can't blame Luffy for going for it in Topher, where if you find it, you win.
Yeah, but you saw that Chanigan did it without having been to Topher, so you go, well, which things did he see that I would have seen also? I recall Blue D is having a script. I imagine he's seen one. There's no way he's taking on Chaos thinking he's getting both skills. I don't know what we both had missed as far as poison skills are concerned on the early end of the seed. It just doesn't make sense to try to get both of them off Chaos, or random Chaos as it were.
And just like that, Chanigan taking over the lead heading into Topher at the hour 30 mark. And also being an hour 30 into a seed and having it not finished yet.
So when we did Blackout as a... I think we did a group race Blackout as like an extra event. 1:30 is about when you would expect this to be done. So the Poison Elemental skills is really the one that's bundling the time here.
Okay, I had it in my mind that it was a little bit quicker than hour 30 as far as what could be expected on that.
So a dab is definitely, you're looking at 55 to 65 if you're running it well. Maybe you could probably even get it below 55 if you're really getting challenged with a weak row. I think we had some in the 40s to 40 to 50 range. But when you have to fill out everything, you consider how many of them were never really assigned in dab because they're like, well, these are great tiles to give someone because they're really time wasters, but the rest of the row just hadn't worked out. And now in Blackout form, you're taking everything. So all of those 3-minute time wasters, like using the slow boat, just sort of happen.
Yeah, Luffy finally finding something other than those blue Ds. Meanwhile, the metal slimes come out with an ambush in Topher, throwing a bunch of sleep out.
And then the poisons, we know that the slimes have it, so I'm not sure. I imagine one of our runners did not hard reset going into Topher. Or no, Luffy wasted some steps on the bats. I'm curious if that was enough to offset where the slime encounter is.
And so there's level 50 for Luffy.
Yeah. We have a black belt that is not going to lose this game when it wants to win it, but we're not terminating those double dragons just yet. Alright, let's see it, Zombie Ds. Show me something. Dang, I really want to see it. I think they had Death Touch, and Squint, right?
That sounds right. I know they did have Death Touch.
So, as Luffy, we're about to see Defeat Lich 2 3 times pop up, and that's going to be terrifying, because you know that, like, you should have been done with this 10 minutes ago. But we'll see if Chanigan has that same luck in confusing Carry 2.
Yeah, if you're Luffy, you're really hoping that that is not luck that'll go your opponent's way.
I'm also curious if turn order... Nope, turn order on Lich did not result in a poison skill. Let's see if it does it this time. Nope. Whoop going. There's no such thing as turn order, there's just dead Lich.
And that's a third dead Lich. The speed bump has been thoroughly flattened.
And
Hold comes out from the Manticore. And there's the 3 times Lich 2 tile lighting up.
I suppose that's right, the back row Black Mage is always an option. Nording off the fires. That indicates another script that they could be checking. Gaze, that looks like Ordeals type scripting. Like you got nightmares and Medusas going on. I'd love to see if they're if we could find some way to like intentionally bundle certain things together across the scripts.
That could be very interesting. Plus, that could also give us some flags that are really not fun for anyone running them.
We already
and if I know anything about this community, we would love that.
No, we love to have fun. Challenge, I don't want people to conflate that sometimes things are very, very difficult with. They're not fun. I mean, you can look at the sales of Elden Ring for that one. And FFR has the potential to be very, very challenging and still very, very fun. And it also has the potential to be very, very mentally draining and very not fun. So it's just make sure that you don't break it when you start putting things together. That first Confuse comes out, Lit 2 fired back, walling off that Black Mage, trying to not let it get back road. If that punch landed on the Black Mage, though, we're starting over.
And there's a Confuse.
So
both of our runners getting good luck on carry too with the Confuse. I forget what the number is on that. I know one of the previous races I commentated, someone threw the number in chat, but
I feel like it's 7%. I did not think it was so high. 7% is about a 1 in 14. I guess I could be wrong. It could be closer to flipping that around and being 1 in 7 for a 14%, but I don't think it's... That sounds a little too high for me.
Nuclear coming out from Kraken 2. Fast comes out on the Black Belt. Zap coming out. All 3 Light Warriors survive it, including that Black Mage with no ribbon. And we've got a dead Kraken too. Meanwhile, Luffy just not having a great time here, trying to find that poison skill.
Wow, big hit, and Tia's still up. We didn't see that from Luffy because he power bonked like 13,000 times. So.
And the defense sword, a big difference, but then getting 17 hits for, I think I saw over 2,000 damage.
Yeah, it was close to like 2,500. And Kylo's with Nuke, you're not really sitting on those very long.
No, and also you're assuming that's probably not where your opponent found it.
Honestly, I feel like the biggest brain way to go about it would be to look for when Chanigan toggles on that tile of I just saw my second poison, and then look for the time differential onto the next tile that he toggles, which in this case would have been open every chest in Sky. And so you can kind of piece it together like, oh, maybe I should be hanging out with either Sky mobs or back at Tier 1, but I guess you can't really do Tier 1 unless you're going with the Hall of Dragons. Oh,
yeah,
this double dragon about to go down.
Time in there, so that TL1 encounter was not easy to find. And speaking of Tia, Tia 3 goes down, and our winner today is going to be Chanigan.
It's a race time GG of 138.09. So I think Luffy is probably gonna just call it here. Oh, nope, still going through. We know you could beat it, Luffy. We don't need you to prove anything to us here. You're just looking at it now for your own sanity. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, with how many turns he sat on the double dragons, we know he could beat it.
I hope this Cobra just leaves with, like, Brack.
That would be so amazing and terrible.
The mummies. See the mummies.
Running from the mummies.
Please. For the love of all that is holy, show me mummies. Oh, there's your poison. In the same place that Pickles found his. Is that the only poison? Oh, they needed 2. Luffy was not going to find 2 in Topher. That is a very, very big ass.
And we are being joined now by Chanigan. GG Chanigan.
Thank you. I shouldn't have won.
We agree. No.
Yeah.
No, you did. I mean, look, you did what you needed to come back there, right? Like you had the goal in mind. So talk us through. I'm 40-something minutes in. I'm taking an Agama grind after wiping twice in ice. What are your thoughts as you're doing that?
I'm very mad. Oh boy, no, that was awful. Man, and I don't know. It's just the off-tile encounters. Just man. That wasn't fun. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
well,
it didn't
staying
like
family friendly.
It didn't seem like it was going to be fun from your perspective. I'm just curious if you could fill us in. What was the first poison skill that you had seen?
Stinger on giants. I encountered a single giant in once I went. I came back from ordeals in the desert. There was a single giant. He did stinger on me.
Very fortuitous. I don't think Luffy bumped into the slimes, or if he did, he didn't wind up taking them to see that damage poison.
He has seen that stinger a number of times from these giants now, though. And meanwhile, in our broadcast notes, we are now seeing all of the things that had poison skills.
Oh, so let me check that out too.
Including
spoilers.
one of those was available. There are 2 poison skills available in Topher.
Yikes. The Phantom. Phantom having that, G Medusas. And where was this last one? I can't see what that bottom one is. The Peds. The G Peds. Alright, I guess
I got lucky enough. I really got lucky finding these two skills.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate tile.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. I think it's probably the worst tile in this in Dab.
I was shocked with all the other adjustments that you made that you wouldn't have just agreed. Like if we saw the poison tile, we both click it. So, talk us through the rationale in the adjustments. Like, why would you throw Fizzlebeef's work in the trash about not having a diet shortcut?
So yeah, okay. So maybe an hour before the race, I'm messaging Luffy. I'm like, hey, do you want to modify the flags? Like, let's go into a call and let's just mess with them. And yeah, we had some fun. The maze. What we changed
was a surprise.
Yeah, the maze in Sky 4. That was the last edition. I completely forgot about that. I'm like looking at the flags. I'm like, this one. Yep, this is the one I want. And we don't see it often, so I'm like, yep, this is a good showcase. Required war mech, of course. Change it from patrolling because we didn't want to search for him into the maze.
Oh yeah, I suppose if that wound up as a tile, that would have been a nightmare.
Yeah. What else did we change? We changed, of course, Chaos.
Is there a reason why you stopped the entrance shuffle at towns?
We didn't want floor and everything, just towns. It was already just a mess with it, at least on my part. Because I completely forgot I turned that on. But yeah. Other than that, what was Gaia shortcut, of course, and we started with a one AoE caster. Just in case the towns at the beginning were very awful.
That seems like a pleasant little addition.
And a fun note that we have gotten here, if we didn't have double dragons on, Chaos would have had stone poison.
Interesting. So doing that removes removes some skills. That's interesting.
Yeah, because it's going to roll Chaos as being part of the seed, but then it doesn't actually display him as an enemy.
Yeah, I see. Huh.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I said that as soon as I saw Double Dragons, I was like, oh, that's really unfortunate for Luffy because we knew Tia was going to have what Tia had that knocked him down eventually. Carrie, we didn't see too much of, but I know that we probably didn't want to. Carrie didn't have any like major spells, so I didn't see poison coming out there. But yeah, did you hard reset going into Topher?
Nope.
That would be why. Yeah, so Luffy, I believe, hard reset, and so he missed the slimes on the way down.
Mm.
And I think he's going to do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, there was three quick encounters, so I skipped. I didn't want to hard reset anyway.
So we know now worms don't have it. Hopefully it doesn't sit too long on this. It's such a shame Phantom seems to be the place to go. Because nobody wants to say hi to the Phantom for more than like half a second.
So I'm going to call it here. We're going to see Luffy see two of them on the way down this time.
We're going to see Luffy see one of them and then instantly kill his stream.
That is the other option that could be here. But we've got the Metal Slimes, we've got the Germadusas, we've got Phantom, all with the poison skills available way down. As well as I believe we do have Sea Trolls on seafloor.
I think he's going to bounce into Slimes here, right? They're available on this floor. No? Okay, I lied. He's not staying long enough. Should have stayed, because one step off.
We've got those zombie Ds you wanted to see so much, though.
But we know that they don't have it now. I wanted to see them. Yes, Phantom did provide an hour race as well. I love how we both encountered it too, saw the script, ran away, and then was like, no, we gotta come back.
And Luffy going to punch the Phantom.
No, don't punch the Phantom. Let the Phantom do Phantom things. Psh, playing your xylophone. Get out of here.
And yeah, that makes me think, Mad Girl, I'm sorry, we saw you roll the seed and we just agreed. We rolled it behind the scene. Just so, and confirmed the ash in the race room, just so it doesn't seem suspicious.
Well, it was super suspicious. I don't even believe that you guys had the same game right now.
Yeah, and right before the start of the race, I also DM 8, which I think he's still doing is still tracking. Just to let him know that we're doing a thing, and if he checks for blurs, not tell anyone. That's not the right seed.
Yeah, he instantly told us, oops, I gave the wrong blessings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because of me.
It's all good. I mean, the party comp, right, is kind of forced when you get take one none, right? Black belt, white, black is just too good to pass up here.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that there would be like a take one none and a thief to 25.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, I almost proposed, depending on the board, we do have 4 forced. But yeah, we're like, man, just in case it just takes like 2 hours to complete, let's not do that.
Oh, you mean like right now? Yeah. I expected this to be about 90 minutes.
Luffy's sitting on the speed bump long enough to see that nuke come out.
If he bounces out of Topher
and
at this point...
And there's Bane on Glitch 2.
Oh boy. I missed it, just saw it now, because I'm looking at the Twitch screen instead of the Discord one accidentally. But there we go. Saw our poison skill.
Yeah, and that's one that I didn't see in the listing that we had, so
What I'm
turns
hearing is
out
we
the
need a new
speed bump
tractor.
should have slowed us down more.
All right, at this point, he's on a warpath. He's gonna just finish this game. We got like what, 3 minutes left? Not even.
Yeah, even being able to speed through here doesn't have to raid Kelly's closet a second time. 10 hits for 822, and that's already a dead Kelly.
Chanigan, out of curiosity, how are you holding on to all of this information about things that you want to cover and when you want to cover them?
That's a good question. Now, basically, I just write on a notepad everything that I have to do or to track. Like what I need, what key items I need, what monsters I need to kill, how many I have killed. Like I have everything on a notepad, and if I see something, I just cross it off the notepad.
So you handwrite everything in the negative sense, and then you just cross it off as you're done.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Fun times. A lot of paper.
It's not too bad. Notepad get messy at the end, but
Oh, Kraken 2, flipping the script, zapping down the white mage for once instead of punching. It is always nice
later.
to see Kraken 2 doing just something a little bit different.
How many times do you think Luffy tells us 3 and 265? 256. I'm gonna set the
Somewhere
bar at
between 3 and
3.5.
256.
Oh. So you're gonna take the over. Alright, we got a fast, we got a punch, we got a Tia still up. Yeah, this is one chunky dragon.
14 hits for 1299, and there's Tia 2 down. We'll get to go see Tia 3.
did Luffy see check chaos, or was I the first one?
Oh no, Luffy sat on the dragons for like an hour, waiting for that Bane.
And eventually what he found instead was the critical hit. He had some drink strats going on for a while. Also,
I wish he would have employed them sooner.
we don't even... I'm pretty sure we both lost count of how many power bonks were used there.
Oh yeah, and he found the defense sword because he accidentally wandered into a mermaid treasure room. So the very first chest in mermaid floor.
Oh,
was,
really?
The defense, yeah. so he like stumbled into that and has been making heavy use of it, trying to fish out that poison skill. Would have worked too if it weren't for you meddling fiends.
Speaking of the defense sword, that comes out turn 1. Fast comes up, getting turn order.
Oh, poor Vivi.
Vivi surviving Kelly's punch, then going down to a second punch. We've still got 960 health. Power bonk comes out. Dragons are missing.
Why can't
And where are we going for a test swing? 18 hits, 2096 damage. That's a dead Kelly. 18 hits for 2306. That's a dead Tia. And get your GGs in chat for LuffyDV. I don't know why I said dot there.
Because we can put dots where we want. We're like Gmail now. I assume that's Luffy that just entered chat?
That is Luffy. GG.
So dumb. So dumb. So dumb. So dumb.
Yeah.
Which part? I'm gonna let you vent for. I'm gonna set a timer for 30 seconds. Go for it.
Nah, I don't need to vent. This was supposed to be fun. It was fun. I had a big lead. I was smoking him.
Your voice is screaming. It was fun right now.
Oh God, I was smoking him, and then stupid poison. I thought I could get like one of them or two of them in Temple of Fiends, and it just didn't work out.
So, do you know where I found mine?
No, I don't.
Stinger on the Giants. Which,
that I found.
think you saw.
Yeah.
And poison damage on the metal slimes.
Oh, come on. That's so dumb.
We can make it worse for you, Luffy.
What happened?
The Phantom also had something.
You know, I thought so.
Phantom had Brack, sea trolls, which I think are on seafloor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with
they
a
had
hex,
some-
you saw Quad X and Heal 2. You would have seen another poison skull.
Also,
with
glance
a
on
hex.
Germandusas.
Everything in Topher did have it. You just didn't have
didn't
it.
see it in it. Yeah, it's all right. This was
It
fun.
happens.
This was fun. Like that was pretty good pace. I was on. Chanigan finished 138. I was on like a 130 pace. Like that was pretty good. It was fun. It's supposed to be fun. It was fun. It's just stupid poison.
Yeah. Do you know why it took me that long to finish?
I'm assuming you ran into something that I didn't see because apparently I didn't see a whole lot.
Yeah. I lost 2 grinds in ice.
I had a feeling. When the thing, like, I was talking to myself, like, there wasn't a tile on here that was like, take level 30, take black belt to like 40 or whatever. So I didn't know where you were, but I knew that as long as you didn't light every trap tile and every chest in ice, that okay, maybe I'm a little farther ahead than I thought, or maybe he's seeing some nasty that I'm not seeing. But
nah, it's just the unrunnables Frosty.
Oh god, they were so bad.
Like, you're what, level 17, 16, 17, and you only have a white, not a white shirt, the black shirt.
Yeah, the problem is that's not all he had.
Yeah.
You didn't ever find Ruby, and so you never found the Masamune in Titan.
Yeah,
that's it.
I had the Massa. Once I found that, I'm like, all right, I'm going to ice as soon as I do the rest of these turn-ins because I felt safe. And then those unrunnable Frosties, I'm like, oh, if he ran into this, it didn't have this Massa, this is trouble. And because magic was garbage. Like I was.
Oh yeah. Oh god, magic was so bad.
It was so bad.
I was searching for Quad X or Rub.
And I found Rub, I think, level 8 guy.
Yeah, both of them were level 8.
Just give it to me, whatever. I'm just gonna cast it once and cry.
Yeah. And I had to go back to Gaia to get another level 8 because I thought I pressed A to buy a spell. I think I pressed B instead to just. I'm like, wait, I'm exit. I'm in the floater going to do the slow boat. I'm like, wait a second. Press start. Look at my magic. Damn it! I'm missing one. Going back.
Yeah. Oh man, it was so bad, but it was fun. I mean, I miss Bingo already. We were talking earlier, like. I wish Bingo was back, but we gotta wait a year. It's fine, but it was fun anyway.
Yeah.
We'll definitely, I'm sure, throw something together over the summer just to scratch that Bingo itch.
I hope so.
But on that note, if you want to help us out with some closing thoughts, I suppose, Chanigan, first on stream, you can start us off.
Thank you, Luffy, for doing this for real.
This was fun.
Yeah, that's the first FFR seed I've done since like my last dab match. I haven't played FFR since then.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of AP stuff together.
Yeah, that felt I felt slow.
You were slow.
Very rusty. But yeah, thank you guys again for commentating, restreaming, tracking, and everything. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, that was a very fun thing. But
Luffy,
no poison tiles anymore, please.
Yeah, no, that's out if we can do this again.
That was a lot of fun. Like Chanigan and I were talking about doing this like a week or two ago. Thank you to Shum and Autumn for showing up and talking, and Habe with the track-in, Macro with the restream. What'd you guys think though about like some of the random stuff we threw in there for fun, like the Sky Maze, the Forest Warmac, the Double Dragon Boss? Like, was that fun? It was fun for me.
That was actually one of my closing thoughts that I was going to have was really appreciated getting those little flips to the script.
Yeah, Chanigan messaged me earlier today. He's like, you want to like do some random stuff? I'm like, yeah, we'll keep it a secret. It'll be fun. But no, I mean, I love these guys. Shum and I, co-op partner, Chanigan, another co-op partner of mine. We have a lot of fun together. It was just fun to do some stuff like and not have any kind of pressure and just, we've had some pretty crazy races in AP the last few weeks, and it's been pretty wild. So it was nice to just play and have some fun together, which we got tonight.
Well, Luffy says no pressure. There was nothing on the line here, but I don't know. It seems to me like Chanigan is our third place finisher for Dab this year.
Yep.
As a
Yeah.
result of this.
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations. Couldn't lose.
Where's my
to a
prize?
better- You know that.
Your,
That's
your prize, you got to finish in an hour 38. So,
man, I gotta pay you guys both back at some point. Shun beat me in the platypus party. You beat me here. Like we're gonna do something.
Also, Luffy, just have to throw some props out there for going ahead and finishing out the seed, even after seeing that finish that late and needing the poison skills.
Yeah, I figured if I could see just one of them, I'd try to go back to Temple of Fiends and see if someone had it. Like, and the thing is, like, I figured, like, let me try Carrie, because I checked the bats to see if any of them said they had it, and they didn't. And it said Carrie had, like, no HP, no nothing, and of course, like, you know, she smacks the white mage for, like, 500 damage. I'm like, yeah, well, that was a fun try, whatever.
all right, I'm going to keep my thoughts kind of quick. Just thank you, Autumn, for co-coms. Thank you, Math Girl, for the restream and Hate for tracking. And Luffy and Chanigan, thank you both for putting on a show tonight. And yeah, like I said before, I really love Dab also, so I hope to get something going with Bingo sooner than later. But for right now, I think this really does close out our Winter 2022 Bingo. So thank you for putting on quite the race to kind of highlight what the bingo board at least actually is. And on that, I'm going to let Autumn take us out of here.
All right, once again, thanks to everyone here for our tracking commentary. Thank you for hopping in here with me, Shum. I know you had some things to attend to and was happy to see you pop in here quickly. And just thank you again to Luffy and Chanigan for giving us one more bingo matchup before we have to go on a bit of a drought. You two put on a great show, especially with these flags. And with that, thank you to everyone for watching, and we will sign off.